Our first one was 1987. I happen to have it right here. And it is a little skinny little thing. You can see. Can you see it this way? And this is actually that's the first one. Yeah, this was wow, 32 pages.
Well, at least it was in that 4 category.
And so since then, we've gone on, and then we had a hold on, I gotta lift this one up.
You didn't stuff that one, did you?
There you go. Don't hurt your back when you pick up the one that's coming out on that.
How many categories? About how many categories?
There's 100 and there's 100 and 100 and I think 115. I wanted to keep it under 100. After a while, I think it starts to get too unwieldy. People. You look at it and go, God, I don't know. I feel like I'm taking a test back in high school. But so what we do is, so we try to keep it. We'd like it if people fill the ballot out all the way, obviously, but we've all got busy lives, and so we in order to prevent ballot stuffing, because that's what people do. Somebody decides that they're just going to get a whole bunch of papers and rip them out and just fill in their name and send it in. So we require that they're half filled out, just so that we know it's real and somebody really cared enough to do it. Doesn't happen very often, but there have been accusations, ballot stuffing. Well, if they follow the rules, people follow the rules. Then, if they win, they win. And yes, it's true. Those ballots are counted by somebody out of house. I don't know anything about it. It isn't Price Waterhouse, but it is an independent organization that takes care of it, and we don't mess around or play favorites or anything like that. I mean, what comes out is what comes out.
It is quite a coup for each business.
Yeah, well, it is a coup, and it does say that that they are certainly high up in the minds of people in the community and in their regard for it, and so people do display it very prominently, and which they should. I mean, it's something to be proud of. I mean, it's not like it's once a year, and there aren't very many that are given out, and if you get one, it really does say something. In fact, I've even had smaller businesses that have come in, because we'll have first, second, and third, and there have been smaller companies that have been named third and were quite amazed and pleased, that they, I mean, you're at the Olympics, you get the silver medal or the bronze medal. I mean, you're standing there with the crowds. I mean, yeah, it'd be great to get the gold, but hey, I don't think anybody gave back a silver or a bronze because they didn't get the gold. So yeah, no, it's remained very popular.
Now there's some, and I think of Woodstocks particularly, that get the best of continuously. Yeah. Are there categories that are very volatile that every year it changes?
Well, yeah. In fact, just about all of them except for a few perennials, and I don't quite know what to do about that. I mean, the perennials they win because they're known, because they're, but just about everything else is up for grabs. There are, in fact, it surprises me. I go, whoa, really? I didn't know. Jeez, that's amazing, So it's, I think it's pretty volatile. And in fact, what starts to happen is you get a lot of the voters. It's like a horse race, and as the ballots are coming in, they tell me that they, keep wondering, who's going to win. And sometimes it's by a nose, it's just by a few votes. And sometimes it's a runaway, So we do get the list of, the winners, and then the list of how many votes they got, So.
How many voters?
We probably get around, probably 2,500, which is a pretty good sampling from the community, if you looked at. We've gotten somewhere between that and 3,000. So I mean, it's not, that's quite a number of people who would take the time to sit down and actually fill that out.
Yeah, the big test.
It is. It really is.
Every spring.
And yeah, it's fun. It's fun. What did we do? We've done some odd ones too. we've had best. What are some of the best? I was trying to think of some of the things that we've done in the past that were, but you know, I'm just sort of not thinking
aside from the worst. Well, it's obvious. It's obvious. No, aside from the worst, what other categories did you drop or have you dropped?
Well, we had best bartender once.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it's back in. Not at any rate. We ended up with. Seems like we got a name for every bartender in the county. you know, you know. So nobody won. You know, and so we thought, well, didn't seem to be consensus. You know, and a lot of them there was not a consensus. And then one of the problems also is that you've got local types of businesses like a video store. Well, everybody goes to the video store in their neighborhood. And they're not going to drive to one side of the county or the other so you really couldn't say what best video store, although, and that one has been in and out, you know, as well as, you know, neighborhood market because your neighborhood market is the best. You know? So it's not, I think pharmacist was in for, I don't know if that's in it, but everybody, again, these are things that people deal with within their, you know, more closer part of their life. Whereas the stuff when we're talking best of SLO County, you know, and the reason really it works is that San Luis Obispo County, unlike, you know, Santa Barbara or some other counties that have the county seat at one end, the county seat is right in the center, which makes it so that there's a lot of back and forth driving, so that people who live in the North County, they come down to San Luis. There's people who live in the South County who are also in San Luis, and so people kind of know the county throughout very well. Unlike if you were in Santa Barbara and said, what's the best Mexican food in the county, they had no idea. They just mentioned some place down in Santa Barbara, and they'd have no idea that you know, Jalisco, which is terrific. Have you ever eaten there? Main and Blosser, isn't that a great restaurant?
Yeah, and Guadalupe too.
In Guadalupe,
yeah.
I know, but there's so many good Mexican restaurants in Santa Maria itself. But yeah, that's the difference. I mean, that's like two counties, and this is like one. So when people are voting on the best of SLO County, you know, people will go to a certain steakhouse, and it will become known as the place. And another one will kind of fall, at least in terms of the way things constantly evolve in the marketplace. And so, yeah, I mean, there'll be people who will. Those are things that people can, I think, honestly say, yeah, I know what that is. I've been there, even if it's on the other side of the county. So this is more of a county, I think. Well, we had best bartender once. I don't know if it's back in. Not at any rate. We ended up with. Seems like we got a name for every bartender in the county. you know, so nobody won.